just had this delivered. Xenoshyft Onslaught, a Kickstarter game from Cool Mini or Not. It's something that I found out about. I backed one of their other games, the Blood Rage, the Viking thing. I found out when I was looking on their websites that it was a Kickstarter I just missed. So it looked really, really interesting. And I thought, God damn it, you know, when you just miss these things. And obviously these things are starting to turn up on eBay for God only knows how much money and things. So I thought I'll wait for the retail version, which arrived a lot sooner than I thought it would, to be honest with you. And yeah, here we go. Not actually seen it before. I've just taken the cellophane off before I started filming this. So let's have a look what's inside. Well, thankfully there's a rules of play, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. The only thing I know about this is that it's a card game, even though the company make miniatures games. But anyway, nice sort of Fantasy Flight-esque, some sort of dial thing. That'll be interesting to see what that's all about. Stuff out with that. Not sure what that's for. Something, presumably some sort of bank of cards that you can buy. Maybe. I mean, it's some sort of deck building game. There's a video that I've seen from Tom Vassell Dice Tower reviews looking at it, and there's some sort of deck building like mechanic, I think. Another one we'll see in a minute. Let's have a look at these things here. Are some sort of like, I get the impression Thunderstone, the card game that has a dungeon track that you fight monsters in a specific order. I think this is similar to that in that you've got the you've got your guys on one, and then the monsters on another. And you fight them in the order that they are on there, I believe. Seems a bit sort of sparse, actually, doesn't it? But I assume there'll be some sort of expansions coming out. I think there were a few, maybe one or two expansions that are Kickstarter exclusives, but I'm assuming that there'll be more mainstream, regular, whatever you want to call them, expansions. So let's have a look at some of these cards. Figure out how to get into the things. Something I liked about this game is it's got that sort of xenomorph look to the aliens that you're fighting, which is something that I appreciate in the Tyranids from Warhammer 40k. Although, yeah, I suppose it is. You see that spore launcher is some sort of like arachnid type thing going on there. Interesting, some sort of shocker. They're a bit glossy, these cards. Oh, hello. Backs have got wave 3, so I'm assuming as we go through there'll be they're all wave 3. I've just noticed, just looking through briefly, Brood Mother looks more lizardy than Xenomorph, but still. The Eater of Hope. Terrible. I'm hoping that I can get a game in with this, like now-ish, and I can come back and have some thoughts later. Because at the minute I'm looking at these cards, I don't know what they're for. I mean, there's things like don't know what they're for. They may be. I mean, they've got locations in them, so maybe there's something you have to defend. Let's look at resource cards now. The back of North Tech, which is some sort of company I think you work for. And Xenoshyft seems to be the currency of the game, maybe. I don't know. Let's have a look at one of these packs now. See if I can first of all actually get into the thing. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think there's that sort of corporation. You know, you work for corporations type of feel to it that almost sort of similar to Starship Troopers film those giant bugs in. That was takes me back. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, I think. Oh, that's just lack of. Oh, I mean, you've got a whole load of one, but then they seem to go up because you've got 6. Ooh, there we go. So there's obviously some sort of resource mechanic in this thing. Let's have another look at another one. I know I said there's only one more, but seems to be some sort of item. So I think you get like a squad of guys, and you're going up against monsters, and you can equip stuff to your guys. I'm assuming. I mean, that would make sense. But it doesn't. I'll see shortly. Okay, so we've got some sort of helmet type thing going on there. Sorry, no, it's not. It's body armor. What am I saying? A lot of different types of body armor there. They're a bit glossy, these cards. They feel okay. They feel a bit thin. They're not you know, that they're not sort of stocky cards or anything, but they feel okay. Some bombs there. Don't know what that prohibited thing is for. But there we go. Yeah. So lots more cards. Oh, there we go. We've got some troopers there. There's another one I'll open out at some point probably. More troopers, more monsters. So yeah, it looks interesting enough. There's also these things, red and blue counters. The red's got plus sign on it, and the blue has got kind of a shield. So I'm assuming the shield is a defense thing. That makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to go away, read some rules, see if I can figure out how this game works, get a game in, and then come back. So I shall see you very soon. I lost. That was fantastic. So different to a lot of deck building games that I've played, and I feel like I've played a lot, but yeah, that was really, really good. Something that I really liked, just from the off really, is unlike with other deck building games, you've got whenever you buy stuff, you've got that immediately in your hand. You don't put it in your discard pile and wait until you actually draw it in later rounds, 2 or 3, 4 rounds again. You've got it to use. So if you're buying troops, you can deploy them immediately. If you're buying equipment, you can equip that equipment to your troops immediately. Really good, and it allows you to sort of build your strategy round by round rather than try to plan ahead. And I'm not a very strategic player, I've got to be honest with you. I try, never works, and I just give up. So in order to have that more immediate strategy developing, that's a big plus for me. The artwork is really, really good as well. I think it uses something like 3 or 4 different artists, but they've got this like cohesive look, which is really, really nice. It's got a definite. I don't know whether this is because, I mean, look behind me and things, you know, just because I'm quite involved with Warhammer, I suppose. I don't know whether that's having anything to play, but it does feel a lot like a sort of Warhammer 40k-esque game. You've got the corporation that you're playing is kind of like an amalgamation of the Imperial Guard, Space Marines, and the Tau, because as the game goes on, you've got different guys can become available to buy and to hire, I suppose you could say. And the top level guys to buy are battle suits, which I thought that's just how, you know. But you've also got like paratroopers and stormtroopers and things, which obviously are tougher as the monsters get tougher. I'm not going to go over all the ins and outs because there's an excellent Watch It Played by Roger Smith, which I'll put in the description. That's, I mean, to be honest with you, I had that on as I was setting the game up, and it just let me play. The game itself is kind of straightforward, especially if you know deck building games. But that video is just you'll be off playing, and it's just great. I just it feels really quite thematic. The idea is that you're this corporation and you're defending your base against these aliens as you're trying to mine for the Xenoshyft, the currency of the game. So as each round begins, you get a free card because you've mined it, which you can use immediately to get stuff immediately. And then you're facing off these aliens in this sort of these lanes. They've sort of coming together, and it feels like you are actually fending them off. And it just, yeah, the tracker that I sort of made the comments about Fantasy Flight Games trackers, that represents your base's health, and the idea is that it's 15 health for each player. And if you ever run out of guys in your lane and there are aliens left, they directly damage the base. And that's what happened to me. I ended the game with no guys, and I think something ridiculous like 15 points of damage to the base, and it had taken it already, so that was just appalling. But it does feel like, you know, at first everything was going quite well. I was coming against not weak enemies, but certainly enemies that I could handle. And we were either wiping each other out, so there was no one left, or I think I actually ended once with one of my guys left, so we were fending the aliens off quite well. And then wave 2 happened, and everything just went terrible. I just lost everyone. Enemies were left. Yeah, but it does feel like you are fighting these things off, and when you're looking to buy equipment and things, using what can I get that will kill something quickly, because some of these wave 2 enemies are a lot tougher than wave 1, and that was something that was quite surprising, really. That I thought, at least, that they went from like 1, 2, maybe 3 hit points to like 6 hit points in one go. I haven't got anything that can kill that off in one go, and I've only got militia in my hand. What am I going to do? Militia, which is just reminded me, that's something as well. You can't buy militia cards. You start off with these like chump cards, basically. You can't buy them, but unless you have the place you're defending is the barracks, in which case you get them as well as the Xenoshyft. But you can level them up quite sort of easily, and of course you level them up and you get the card immediately. So you level her up. I think you destroy militia and it costs 1 less to buy another troop then. So it's kind of leveling up, I suppose. You're kind of buying them as well. But you get that immediately. So like your militia has turned into a stormtrooper or a paratrooper or something, and it's just, yeah, you know. Something else I quite liked as well is that it's not just equipment like guns and stuff, but you can get like gun emplacements. And there's one of the cards that I'd drawn was a med robot or something that basically acts as if it were a troop and gives everyone in the lane +2 hit points, which is really useful. You know, I didn't actually buy one, which I probably should have done really, but there we go. So yeah, there's definitely, you need to get rid of those militia as soon as you can, and yeah, I am definitely going to try this again, probably after this video is finished. And hopefully when I've got a few more games in, I'm going to write a blog about it, so that will probably, I'll update the description once I've done that, so you've got a link to that as well. But yeah, really great game, and I've got to admit, even though I know that there's like Kickstarter content out there. I don't feel like I need it to enjoy the game because, as I said, that my game ended in round 5, so I can see that I am going to be playing an awful lot of this without duplicating the content and things. So it's one of these things where you don't actually feel, or at least I don't actually feel, that I need everything for it in terms of the Kickstarter stuff. I don't know whether I'm assuming there'll be expansions. I'm not. This is my first Cool Mini or Not board game, but card game. So I don't really know how they work like that. But I imagine there'd be a lot of scope for. Obviously, you can have more of the same. In terms of more troopers, more equipment, more places to defend. Something that struck me was that you could potentially have a new corporation. I don't know how that might work because they're all quite not generic, but everything has its place. But maybe they could do a new corporation. You could have different aliens coming in. There's a lot of scope for making more of it, I suppose. So I'm looking forward to that definitely. And yeah, really great game. I think it was £45 over here in Britain. Whether you can get it for cheaper or not, I'm not entirely sure, but well worth picking up. And yeah, fantastic.